is be jealous of good people, even be jealous of the good midas that bad people have, but don't be jealous of the people that they get a lot of attention and then try and bring them down. Right? That shouldn't be done. Okay. Fine. Okay, so we're on the bottom of pay Gimel Amud pays. Yeah. Okay, so we have like this. We're talking about in the Mishna of a guy who made Tanoim that his wife's things are not gonna, he's not gonna be kind to them, different forms of Tanoim. We said that one of them is that he could say, even if she dies, he says, I'm not inheriting her stuff. And Rav Shimon Gamliel had said that's no good. He cannot make that Tanai. I mean, he can make it all he wants, it's meaningless. Because that's what we call a masna mashakasa b'Torah. You're making a Tanai on something that's written in the Torah. And the Torah it says that, well, the way he learned, the way Rav Shimon Gamliel learns it, that the Torah says that a man inherits his wife, and this guy can't go along and say, no, I'm not inheriting. I'm not inheriting my wife. All right? So let's see. So now the Gemara says, Rav Shimon Gamliel, I remember Chulu. So Amar Rav says, Halacha Rav Shimon Gamliel, v'loy mitamei. The halacha is like Rav Shimon Gamliel, that a man cannot make a Tanai. He cannot make a condition and say that he's not inheriting his wife, but not because of the reason that Rav Shimon Gamliel said. Again, Rav Shimon Gamliel said that he can't do it because he's making a Tanai on something that says it in the Torah. That's not the reason. It's a different reason. So now the Gemara goes through a bunch of options to try and figure out what Rav means. So my halacha Rav Shimon Gamliel v'loy mitamei. What does he mean? That the halacha is like Rav Shimon Gamliel, but not for the reason Rav Shimon Gamliel says. Ilay halacha Rav Shimon Gamliel da'amar emesa yirashena. If you're going to say that what he means is the halacha is like Rav Shimon Gamliel, that if his wife dies, he does inherit her, the lav mitamei, but not for the reason Rav Shimon Gamliel gave. The ilah Rav Shimon Gamliel savar masna mashakaza b'Torah tanai batal. If somebody makes a Tanai on something that's written in the Torah, the Tanai is out. You cannot start making Tanaim against what it says in the Torah. For Rav Savar, that the Tanai is Kayim. So, and Rav disagrees and he says, not like Rav Shimon Gamliel, the Tanai is Kayim. Okay, so if the Tanai is Kayim, how come Rav says that we pass on Rav Shimon Gamliel that you cannot inherit his wife if you're allowed to make a condition against something in the Torah? So, Kasavar Yerusha is about the Rabanan. Because Rav holds that Yerusha is a derabanan, so therefore that you can make a Tanai against a derabanan. Okay, so then what's the problem? So if you can make a Tanai, how come his Tanai does not work, and how come he has to inherit him? And the Chachamim, and we've had this concept a bunch of times, that the Chachamim made it more chamor than even a deraisa, because they wanted to strengthen their words. So it's the Chachamim who say that a man inherits his wife, and the Chachamim are the ones that they made it up. So Mamela, they wanted to make chizuk to it. So if you're going to have guys saying, oh, I'm not inheriting my wife because I don't care, so then that's going to destroy the derabanan. So the Rabanan said, you cannot make a Tanai against it, even though theoretically you should be able to. So maybe that's what it means. So again, Rav is saying we pass on Shimon Gamliel that it does not work, and the guy is forced to inherit his wife, but for a different reason. It's the Rabbanan, and the Rabbanan made a chizuk. So that's option number one. On to Amud Aleph now. So Gemara says, "V'sava Rav Tanai Kayim." Does Rav really hold that if somebody makes a Tanai against what it says in the Torah, the Tanai the Tanai works? Itmar, we have another memra. Don't do business with this guy here who says, I'm selling you something, but you cannot have any time on me that I ripped you off, right? I know is what we call usury, right? I think that's what we call it. Usury? Yeah. Meaning you rip the guy, you charge more than a sixth. So normally if somebody charges more than a sixth, you can nullify the whole purchase. So this guy says, I'll sell it to you. And you could have it the other way too. You can have a guy that underpays, Could also be I know, but either way, the guy does a deal with him. He says, by the way, you cannot have, I'm doing this on condition, you can have no complaints that I'm ripping you off. So Rav says there's I know because the guy can't do that. It's also from the Torah to make I know. Shmuel says there is no problem. Right? So you see that Rav says that you're not allowed to make a condition against something that it says in the Torah.
Yeah, we're not going to go into why all the Yiddish businesses get away with it.
Yeah, we're not going down that road. Not now, at least.
Okay.
Right? Maybe afterwards. Yeah. So Ella, so it can't be that because Rav clearly holds that you can't make a condition against something in the Torah. Ella. So option one is out. Ella must be like this. Halacha Rav Shimon Gamliel. The halacha is like Rav Shimon Gamliel. The Amar Amasna Mashakaza b'Torah tonight batel. If you make a condition against something that it says in the Torah, the condition's out. It doesn't work. And when he says, but not for Rav Shimon Gamliel's reason, the Rav Shimon Gamliel Savar Mesa Yerushalayim. Because Rav Shimon Gamliel holds that when the wife dies, the husband inherits her. The Rav Savar Mesa Lo Yerushalayim. The Rav says when she dies, he does not yashin her. Right? Meaning, because he only yashins her in the derabanan. And they didn't do chizuk. So then, so then that's the opposite. He's going with Rav Shimon Gamliel's reason, but the halacha is not the same. Right? Meaning, if he's going to say it this way, then it's going with Rav Shimon Gamliel's reason, but it's not going with the halacha, because the halacha will be different. Rav Shimon Gamliel says that the Tanai doesn't work. Right? And here the Rav is saying that the Mesa Lo Yerushalayim, the husband doesn't yashin the wife. So clearly he's not passing Rav Shimon Gamliel. So that can't be an option either. Ella must be a third shot. Halacha a third attempt. Ella halacha Rav Shimon Gamliel the Amar Mesa Yerushalayim. That if she dies, he inherits her. V'lamet tamei, but not for that reason. Dealer Rav Shimon Gamliel Savar b'deraisa Tanai batel. Rav Shimon Gamliel says that b'deraisa the Tanai is batel because again you're not allowed to make a condition against something in the Torah. Rabanan to no kayim. But if he would make a condition against something that's only derabanan, that would work. Rav says even in the Rabanan a man cannot make a condition. So maybe that's what Rav meant. So then that's not, but that doesn't make sense either. Because Hai Ketame Ukil Chasehu, that's going with Rav Shimon Gamliel's reason, which was that you cannot make a condition against something in the Torah. And it's for the same reason. The Rav Maisafu, Rav is just adding on. He's even more strict. Rav Shimon Gamliel says the Tanai doesn't work if it's from the Torah. And Rav is saying that it doesn't work even from the Rabanan. So we have no pshat of what Rav could have meant, that the halacha is like Rav Shimon Gamliel, but not for the reason. So Ella, Gemara comes finally to a fourth pshat. Ella halacha Rav Shimon Gamliel, the Amar and Mesa Yerushalayim. The halacha is like Rav Shimon Gamliel that if she dies, he does inherit her. But not for the reason. Dealer of Shimon that Rav Shimon Gamliel gave. Dealer of Shimon Gamliel Savar Yerusha Sabal deraisa. Rav Shimon Gamliel says the husband inherits the wife. That's from the Torah. And anybody who makes a condition against something in the Torah, the Tanai doesn't work. But Rav Savar Yerusha Sabal derabanan. Rav holds that the Yerusha of a husband is the Rabanan. And the Rabanan made chizuk like the Torah. So Rav is coming out that the husband does inherit the wife, but not because he made a condition against something in the Torah. It's only because of the Rabanan, and the Rabanan made chizuk for their words, which seems to me like the first pshat that we said on the bottom of the Amud. That seems to me like the first pshat we said. I'm not sure. But again, that's what it seems.
So what's the difference in general between Asu Chizuk Yaiser or Kushal Torah?
You think that's enough? You know?
I mean, that is the only nafkamina.
I guess, but I didn't read much into that. I wasn't medayik like that, but I guess maybe you're
I
right.
mean, I would say the same as you, but I mean, the kasha is there. That's the only difference.
Right. I don't know, but I don't know. But anyways, okay, I don't know. I don't have shot. Am I on still? Yeah. Okay. Good. I thought the internet went down a second. Fine. So now the Gemara says, "Rav Sava Yerusha is about the Rabanan." So right now we're saying that Rav holds that the Yerusha of the husband is the derabanan. So Gemara says, "Rav Sava Yerusha is about the Rabanan." We're going to bring from a Mishna that he holds as deraisa. R Yochanan Ben Broka Omer, Hayoresh es Ishtoi, somebody who yarshins his wife, he inherits his wife. Yachsu lebnei mishpacha. He has to give back the Yerusha back to her family by Yovel. Yovel could be this year's Yovel, right? There you go. Yovel is the 50th year. Basically, everything resets at Yovel. Everything goes back to it's like almost like a new game, like Monopoly. You play Monopoly. This one buys, this one sells. 50 years, okay, game over. Start again. Everybody put everything back. All right, so that's basically what was on my Yovel. So.
I mean, it's a shame Zevi's not on, but it worked out very nicely for Darby this year.
What, Yovel?
The 50th dinner, they're already marketing.
Ah, there you go.
Jubilee, the Jubilee.
The Jubilee, yeah.
Jubilee.
Well, Darkey's not giving back everybody their money, I don't think, now that Zeb's not on.
I thought you were saying to start over fresh. Okay.
Okay.
Is it all property or stay achuzah?
And it's not everything, it's different thing. But here we're saying that the guy has to give back what he yarshin from his wife. Mastama means it's land from Eretz. It's also land only in Eretz Yisrael, right? So he has to give it back to his wife's family. And he subtracts from the worth, right? Meaning, the way Rashi says it, well, at least we're thinking now, is that he can't rip them off. Meaning he can get back some money for it. He just has to give it to them at a very good deal. He has to give them back the land, but he gets paid, and he'll get paid for it, but nothing major. Vavinamba, and it was being discussed, right? My Kasava. What did Rabbi Yochanan Ben Broka say? Meaning, why is he saying that he has to give it back? Ikasava Yerusha is about deraisa. If you hold that the Yerusha of a husband inheriting his wife is from the Torah, my Yasir, why does he have to give it back for? It's from the Torah, it's his. If he's the Rabanan, and if it's only the Rabanan, what does money have to do with it? He should have to give it all back without getting paid anything, right? Because minat Torah, it's not his. It's only his midrabanan. So which way is Rabbi Yochanan Ben Broka going here? Rav. So Rav said pshat. Really, Rabbi Yochanan Ben Broka holds that from the Torah, the husband inherits the wife. We're going to shahirishaso ishtay beis hakvaros. And what we're talking about, this wife gave her husband a real good Yerusha. She gave him a cemetery, right, where all her relatives were buried. Mishum pegam mishpacha. And the reason why he has to give it back is because of pegam mishpacha. She had this cemetery where all her parents, grandparents are buried, and now it went over to her husband, and now her husband's family is going to be buried there, not her and her family. So because of that, it's a pegam in the mishpacha. So he has to give it back to her. So Amar Rabanan lishkol dami v'leder. So the Rabanan said, "Aleh, he should at least get paid some money, and then he should give it back."
Jacob, you don't remember? You don't remember when they went to bury the shver? That whole act? You don't remember that? The Spiegel plot, and they were busy with it.
It was in the Spiegel section and right. Oh yeah, that type of thing, right? Fine. So what is it? What do we mean that you have to subtract money? To make kever ishtoi means that he doesn't get paid for his wife's kvura, for his wife's plot, because his wife, he's mechuyev to pay for his wife's plot. Kedetanya, amaycha kivroi, b'derech kivroi, somebody who sells his kever, or the road leading to the caver. Mamadu Mekayim Hespede, or the Maimed is like the stand where they used to say Hespedim. And Mokum Hespede is also a place where they had back then they had specific places where they would say Hespedim. So then if somebody sells it, the family of the people that sold it, the koivrin that were, meaning that their cemetery stuff was sold, the koivrin is about korva, they can come right into this land and just bury their relatives there, mishum begam mishpacha, because of begam mishpacha. So basically what we're saying is that a person, let's say somebody sells his family cemetery to somebody, and the guy's getting ready to do construction or whatever it is, and then one of the family members dies, they could come bury their mace right then and there, even though the guy bought the cemetery fair and square, he still loses out. So the same thing here, we're talking about where the husband inherited the family cemetery from his wife, and therefore he has to give it back, but he gets paid. Either way, what do you see from Rav? We see that Rav holds a minat Torah. The husband inherits the wife. So how can we say that till now we were saying that Rav holds that the husband does not inherit the wife from the Torah, it's only the Rabanan. So when it answers, Rav Tamei to Rav Yochanan Ben Broka, Rav is going according to Rav Yochanan Ben Broka, but he himself does not hold it. Right? So that's how we answer it. So really Rav himself holds husband does not inherit his wife, but he was, when he explains Rav Yochanan Ben Broka, then he was just explaining his words, so and he held that it is. Fine. Now we get into, it's not complicated, but it's these like sophisticated cases where somebody dies and he owes half the world money. Right? So a guy dies, you got some people in that book that they're, big balei chayv, right? And they die. And now who gets dibs on his estate, if you want to call it that, or whatever money that he has left? All right, so Zok the Mishna. Misha Mace, if somebody died, V'niach Isha Ubal Chayv V'yarshin. He left a wife who obviously he has to give money to. He left a Bal Chayv, meaning he owes money. The Yarshin, and then he also has his whoever's Yashing. Let's assume it's kids. But he also had pikadon and malve b'yad acherim, and he also had a pikadon in other people's hands, meaning he had left, let's say, his watch or something like that for somebody else to watch, and he also had money, and or both that he had lent out, right? So basically, he has money coming in. He also has money going out, right? So again, he owes his wife money from his estate. He owes the people he owes money, and he has his inheritors. He also has belongings that are in other people's hands, either because he gave it to them to watch or he lent them money. So what goes on with this mess over here? Who gets first dibs? Rav Tarfon Aimer, Yinasnu l'koishel shabehen. Rav Tarfon says you give it to the weakest one of all these people. Right? Meaning whoever has the weakest proof of that this man who just died owes them, he or she gets it. Right? Now we're going to see that how does this whole work, because if they yarshin it right away, so then it's not really the dead man's anymore, it's really his kids. So how does this work? But we'll see that in the Gemara. But either way, he says you give it to the weakest one. Right, which usually means the person who took the money, who has the debt the latest. But we'll see. That's Reb Tarfon. Akiva ein merachman b'din. We don't have rachmanas in din. Meaning Reb Tarfon is basically saying the weakest one gets the money first because we want to make sure they're taken care of. And Reb Akiva says no, we don't have rachmanas in din. The din is the din. We can't start pitying people. Eli yinaslu yarshin. What happens is it all goes to the Yarshin. Shekulan tzrichen shvua. Why? Because anybody who wants to take money from a Yerusha needs to swear first. Peina Yarshin tzrichen shvua. And the Yarshin do not have to swear. Meaning Yerusha happens automatically. A guy's father dies, the kids automatically inherit the father. But anybody else that wants to get money out of somebody's estate has to swear. So we're going to go with the path of least resistance. I guess, I don't know if that's the right way to say it. We're going to give it to the one who it's most pashut that it goes to. And then everybody else has to prove that they should get a piece of the pie. And then we have a similar machlokes. Let's say he left fruit that's detached from the ground. Then it's first dibs. Whoever gets to it first. Yeah. We'll see exactly where these fruits are standing. So let's say the woman, right, the wife, right after the husband died, she says, "Oh, I know he just cut down tons of fruit. I'm going to run and take it." And she took it, but there was a lot more money than what she was owed. Let's say the ksuba is $20,000. She took $25,000 worth of fruit. So what happens with the leftover? And let's say the guy who was owed money took also fruit, but he took a lot more than he was owed. So then hamaisa, the leftovers. So what happens with the leftovers? So the tarfon, again, the same machlokes. You give it to the weakest one. You can't have pity by din. You give it to the inheritors, because all the others need a shvua in order to take their money. And the yarshim do not need a shvua. So it's basically the same machlokes. So Gemara says, now there's two cases of where the guy who died had money by other people. One is that he lent it, and one is that he gave somebody something to watch. So why does it say malva? Why do you need why do you need two cases? So Gemara says, you need two cases. If you would have just thought malva, where he lent the money, that's what Reb Tarfon says is din. So a malva, normally you expect a malva, the minute you give him the money, it's already spent. So the money is not around. It's not liquid, I guess. Right? And he knew that. The guy lending the money knew that. So therefore, that's why Reb Tarfon says that it's not really in the wasn't really meant to go to the yarshim, and therefore you can give it out to whichever one of the people that are owed money is. A pekadan, but a pekadan, which is, it's not liquid. I mean, not a liquid is not the right word. It's not a pekadan's right. It's there, right? He gave somebody a watch to hold or something like that. So the watch is there. That goes straight to the yarshim. Fine. And if it would just said pekadan, but how come Rabbi Akiva? That's what Rabbi Akiva says, that the yarshim get it. Maybe by the other case, maybe he'd be moided to Reb Tarfon that the other people that are owed money can take it. So tzricha, that's what we need both cases to tell us. The Reb Tarfon holds his din that the other people that are owed money can get it, whether they are, whether it was cash or whether it was not cash. Fine. My lekoshel, what does it mean that you give it to the weakest person who's owed money? The one who has the weakest proof, right? Which Rashi says, it means that the person who is the last in line to get anything. Right? Normally, the way it works when somebody owes money, so you have the first lien holder, second lien holder. So Rabbi Chanina is saying that it goes to the weakest one because you want to try and give them, you want to try and help them out. The other ones will have more proof, more strength. Rabbi Yochanan Isha. No, what it means is it goes to the ksuba for the Isha. That means that she's the one that gets paid first, Mashum China, because of Chain, because you want to make sure that women know that they'll be taken care of if their husband dies, and the husband's supposed to give them the ksuba, and they know that they're first in line. They're considered the first lien holder, so then they're going to be more willing to get married. Like we saw yesterday's daf, 2 days ago's daf, 3 days ago, Erev Rosh Hashanah's daf, where we said that there were women that were not willing to get married because the ksubas were not guaranteed.
There was the reverse shidduch crisis.
Correct. Yes, that's what they had. So, but that's because women weren't the women want some sort of security. So here too, they want to make sure that she's the first lien holder so that she gets taken care of. Fine. Ketanoin, this is Machlokes Tanoim, Rabbi Yomi, the Kaishel Shabaria. It's a Shabaraya. It's the Kaishel means the one that has the weakest proof, Behu kosher, and it's a kosher thing to do. Meaning it's proper to it's kosher v'hagan, Rashi says. It's a proper thing to do, to give it to the weakest debt holder. Rabbi Lezer, the ksubas isha mishum chayna. No, it's for the ksuba of the isha because of chayn. Fine. Now, hiniach peres hatalushin, if they left peres that are detached from the ground, so you have the machlokes. Rav Tarfon says, and there's extra, so it goes to the other debt holders, and Rabbi Akiva says, no, it doesn't. It goes to the yarshim. Rabbi Akiva, my area meiser. So Rabbi Akiva, we're saying the extra fruit. Mashma, let's say again, there were $20,000 worth of detached fruit, and he went and grabbed 25,000, or she or the wife did. So the extra 5,000, we have a machlokes. According to Rabbi Akiva, it should, even the first 20,000 should go to the yarshim. Why is the wife getting it? Rabbi Akiva, my area meiser, kulu nami the yarshim. The whole thing belongs to the yarshim, right? Meaning, if you're saying that the yarshim automatically inherit the second the father dies, so that's it. So Gemara says, enochanami. So it's true, yes, really, Rabbi Akiva holds even the first 20,000. Yeah, the fruit, the detached fruit also goes to the yarshim. So why does he say, excuse me, why does he say meiser? By the Damar of Tarfon meiser, Tana iyunami meiser. Tarfon said extra, so therefore he also said extra. On Talmud Beis now. So then the Gemara says for Rabbi Akiva now. So basically what the Gemara is coming out is that according to Rabbi Akiva, you have somebody who's owed money by the guy that died. He cannot run into his house and just grab whatever he wants. We're going to take it away from him. That's according to Rabbi Akiva, because it automatically goes to the inheritors. And therefore, if the guy comes in and takes it, the game is over. By the way, this is a problem in Shiva houses. We should never know from it, but people come in there and just help themselves to things. Svarim and artifacts, and all these type of things. People just come in and take things. So a guy could justify it by saying, "Well, I'm owed money by the guy who died." So Rabbi Akiva holds there is nothing. You could goes back to the inheritors. Even if we catch the guy, we take it away from him, even though he's owed money. Rabbi Akiva tfisa leimahan yiklal. The grabbing on will never help. So Marava, no, there is a case. If the guy goes and grabs it from the guy's estate before he actually dies, then he'll be able to keep it. Meaning, he finds out that the guy that owes him $10,000 is about to die. So he runs into the guy's house, grabs some cash, and leaves. If he got that cash before the guy actually died, then it's his, because the Yarshim never had a chance to be koined. Right? Rabbi Akiva's whole reason is that the Yarshim get an automatic kinyan right away. So once you grab it, you're grabbing it from the Yarshim, not from the father. Right? So, but here, when he grabs it, when the guy's still alive, so the Yarshim didn't have the time, didn't have the opportunity to be koined yet.
So the Yarshim get $100,000 worth of fruit or whatever it is, and then the creditor takes them to Beis Din and says,
Yes, that's what would have to happen.
Father owed me this.
Yeah, that's what would have to happen.
So he should be running over there as the man is in his last breath, right?
If he wants to grab onto it, yes.
Okay, so he should be calling the ICU doctor, say, keep doing CPR till I tell you otherwise.
Yes, correct. Yes, that's exactly what he should do. Yeah,
I'm just giving an example.
Yes, 100%. If he's a smart guy, that's exactly what he should do. Yeah, fine. Yeah. So then the Gemara continues. Reb Tarfon daman chihecha. Now, according to Reb Tarfon, who says that when you have the extra fruit on the ground, then the creditors can come take it, right? So where is it? Where is this fruit that he's saying that obviously the inheritors have not been kained? So where is it? Rav Shmuel, so we have Machlokes. Rav Shmuel Damei Tavayav Husha Tziburin Umanachen B'Rishus Harab. That's where the fruit is piled up in Rishus Harab. So right when the father died, it was still in the public property. So how could you say that the Yarshim are kained if it's still in Rishus Harab? Right? So that's the way Rav Tarfon understands it according to Rav. That's the way Rav and Shmuel understand it in Rav Tarfon. Al Simta loy, but if it's in a simta is like a corner off the Rishus Harab, right? A little like alleyway or something like that. Then that's not really considered Rishus Harabim. So if the fruit was there, Rav Tarfon would say that it does go to the Yarshim because the Yarshim would be kained there. Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish, Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish disagree, and they both say afilu b'simta. Even in a simta, Rav Tarfon would say that the creditors can come take it. Yeah, right. So it's a machlokes, a major Amoraim, how to understand Rav Tarfon. So the Gemara now says a bunch of cases. The dain dainik Rav Tarfon, the dayanim paskin like Rav Tarfon, and they let the creditors or the wife keep the inheritance. And Rish Lakish changed the ruling. I don't know if the Rish Lakish was an appeals court, but the court ruled like Rav Tarfon, and Rish Lakish turned the tables and said Allah is not like Rav Tarfon, right? And creditors are not allowed to take it, meaning he passed like Rabbi Akiva. Some of the Rabbi Yochanan said to Rish Lakish, Asisa Keshel Torah. You now made Rabbi Akiva's psak like it's minat Torah. Meaning, let's say the Bezdin decided to paskin like Reb Tarfon. Who says you can go overturn a Bezdin? Right? Like Rashi says, if you wanted to tell them lechatchila they can't paskin like Reb Tarfon and they have to paskin like Reb Akiva, that's fine. But if they already paskin like Reb Tarfon, you can't go reverse it unless
did this on a few occasions. I think Rabbi Yoshua on a few occasions did that.
Oh, so yeah, right. So you have to see that bite. You have to really know exactly how it works. But in this case, he's saying you're basically saying that it has to be that Rabbi Akiva is like something from the Torah where they messed it up. They messed up the psak. Meaning this is a machlokes with Tarfon and Rabbi Akiva. It's not like a machlokes Rabbi Akiva and Moshe Rabbeinu, right? So that's the way Rashi is. Meaning it's not.
It depends on Rab Tarfon. Was he I think I heard he's the contemporary, was he the Rebbe?
He's a Rebbe, well then we're going to get it. That's a machlokes. That is going to be the machlokes here. But right now he's telling Rabbi Yochanan is telling Rish Lakish, who says you can go make Rabbi Akiva into such an important opinion that you could just reverse it. So the Gemara first says, well, let's say the machlokes, but yeah.
Even Rabbi Yochanan's maskim that me'ikra adin halachas Rabbi Yochanan. Why is that true? Why don't we have a Yochid Rabbi Mishna here?
What do you mean?
We have the machlokes Tanaim on the bottom, Rabbi Binyamin and Rabbi Lazar. They both hold like Rabbi Tarfon.
Who says they both?
Kind of was that me'ikara Bishlam and me'ikara could pass like Rabbi Akiva. But to overturn a psak bezdin from Reb Tarfon to Reb Akiva, that
I don't know if that they're just having a machlokes what Reb Tarfon meant. That doesn't mean that they're paskening like him. Otherwise, you're saying why they're having a machlokes if they didn't pasken like him.
Yeah,
I hear. I don't know. I hear. Okay, that's a good point. Either way, so Gemara is saying lema b'hakam b'figi. Why don't we say that this is the machlokes of Yochanan and Rish Lakish? The marsa of our Torah b'dvar Mishna chayzer. This is a difficult. Conceptually, a difficult machlokes to understand. One holds that if that if somebody makes a mistake, if a Rav makes a mistake in a Dvar Mishnah, chayzer, then we change it. Meaning a guy makes a mistake and in a basic Mishnah, and he paskin wrong, so we reverse it. Umar savar tab Dvar Mishnah ain't a chayzer. And the other one says that if somebody makes a mistake in a Dvar Mishnah, we don't make him change his mind, which is a little bit difficult to understand because how do you go make a mistake in a Mishnah and we don't reverse the ruling? Right? Elamai must be that it's a disagreement. So therefore, he decided to pass in a different way. So he has the right to do that. Okay, whatever it is. But that's what the Gemara thinks is the Machlokes in R Yochanan and Machlokes. So the Gemara says, "Loi dekuli alma tabed var Mishna chayzer." Everybody holds if a Rav makes a mistake in a Dvar Mishnah, he has to go back. Here, what's the Machlokes? We always pass like Rabbi Akiva when he's arguing with his friends, but not against his Rebbe. Reb Tarfon was Rabbi Akiva's Rebbe, right? So even though maybe you want to pass like Rabbi Akiva, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But when somebody passes like Rabbi Akiva's Rebbe, you can't go and reverse it and say, oh, you got to pass like Rabbi Akiva. And the other Shita says, Rish Lakish holds that no, we pass like Rabbi Akiva even against his Rebbe. So therefore, you can reverse the bezdin that paskin like Reb Tarfon can be reversed. That's one way of learning the Machlokes. Everybody holds that Rabbi Akiva, the Halacha is like Rabbi Akiva when he's arguing with his friends, but not when against his Rebbe, and we should pass it like Reb Tarfon. Okay, so then why did he reverse it? One says Reb Tarfon was Rabbi Akiva's Rebbe. Umar Savar Chaveiro Yahava. And Rish Lakish holds Reb Tarfon was not Rabbi Akiva's Rebbe. He holds that he was his friend and not his Rebbe. Right? So, which means L'chari was both. He was a Talmud Chaver. That's the second way of learning the Machlokes. V'ba Yisema, a third way, the Kuli Amar Chaveiro Hava. Everybody holds it was his friend. We said that when it says that Halacha is like Rabbi Akiva, it says Halacha is like Rabbi Akiva over his friends. The other one says no, it's not. It doesn't say Halacha is like Rabbi Akiva. The Halacha leans towards Rabbi Akiva, but doesn't mean we definitely have to pass like him. So therefore, that's the Machlokes of Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish, whether you're allowed to overturn the first Dayan's chak like Reb Tarfon or not. Fine. Now the Gemara goes through a number of stories of creditors grabbing things. Yeah, Krevet Rav Yochanan's relatives. Tafus para diyasmi misimta. They went and they grabbed the para from a simta, from that little what do we call it, alleyway off of the Rosh Hashanah. I mean, the guy died. He owed Rav Yochanan's relatives money, so they went and they grabbed this para from the alleyway. Also, Rav Yochanan. So they came to ask Rav Yochanan if they did the right thing. Amrlahu, Shaper Tov Sasua, you grabbed it properly. You did the good thing. Right? Even though Rav Yochanan in the Gemara before, Tosfos asks, Paskin like Rabbi Akiva. So he said that you did the right thing. Right? So the Pashtus is, Tosfos is saying that as a b'diavad, they already took it. Meaning, had they come to him and asked him that, should we take it? He would have said no. But once they already took it, then that's it. Fine. Also, look, Reb Shimon ben Lakish, but they gave him from Rish Lakish. Amalu, he said to them, Zilu Adur, go give it back. Also, look, Reb Yochanan, they came in front of Reb Yochanan. Amalu, and he said to them, Ma ese, what should I do? Shekenegdi chalakalai. The people that are the equivalent of me disagree with me. We've had this once before. I don't remember where we had it, but we had it once before, and Rabbi Yochanan gave into Rish Lakish side. Sorry. So Rabbi Yochanan gave into Rish Lakish here. I don't know when there's Gemaras that Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish fight it out, and when there's Gemaras where Rabbi Yochanan gives into Rish Lakish, I don't know. They were brothers-in-law. You know, we had that whole Gemara with how they died, how they both died. Fine. Fine. Next story.
It was the other way around, though. There was Rabbi Yochanan said Shekenegdi Chalukalei about Rish Lakish. This is Rish Lakish saying it about Rabbi Yochanan.
No.
It's flipped.
No, This is Rabbi Yochanan telling Rish Lakish. Here's Rabbi Yochanan telling Rish Lakish. Hadura also the Kamed Rabbi Yochanan. He says, Zilla, go give back. So also and they came in front of Rabbi Yochanan and told him what Rish Lakish said. So Amar Lui said to them, Ma Esa. I think that's the way it is. Yeah. Fine. Next story. Ahu Bakra. The Yasmi. There was a Bakra of the Yasmi. Bakra is the guy in charge of the Bakr. He's in charge of the cattle. The Tafsi Turamine. They grabbed the shard from him. Right, the guy whoever he worked for, this guy in charge of the cows or the oxen worked for a fellow, and that fellow died. So then they came and they grabbed the shard from him. So the Baal Chayv said, we got it when he was still alive. Like the doctor said, we called up the hospital, we made sure to keep him on life support, we grabbed the cow, and then he died. Ubakra Amar, and the guy in charge of the animal said, no, I have no idea how they have this machlokes, but okay. He says it was after the death. Also, Kameder of Nachman. So they came from Nachman. Amalei, Isloch Sadi the Tafse. Do you have Adim? Do you have witnesses that he grabbed it? Amalei Lav. So the guy in charge of the animal said, no, I don't have witnesses. Amalei. He says, Migu, the Yachal. He's believed because he could have just said, I bought the animal from this guy before he died. If the guy just coming to Bezdin, nobody has any documentation whatsoever or proof. So the guy could have said, instead of him coming say, oh, he owed me money, so I took a cow, he could have just said, I bought the cow from him if he wanted to lie. So therefore, he's believed. Yachal Nami Lememar. I'm sorry, I stopped mid-sentence. Since he could have said, I just bought it, right? He could have said that he's trusted to say that he took it Michayim. Because if he was a liar, he could have lied a lot better. So Gemara says, Rish Lakish said that the goydros from the word gather, from fences, things that are normally fenced in, don't have a chazaka, right? So, meaning animals don't have a chazaka, because how do you prove if somebody has a dog, let's say, or a sheep or a cat or something like that? How do you prove that somebody took possession of it? Nobody could have any idea if somebody took. I guess we're assuming that they didn't have what do you call those things around their necks, chains or whatever to ID them. But you can't ever know. Meaning it's one thing to have a chazaka on fields, because you say, hey, what's this guy doing living in this guy's field? So you could have a chazaka when the guy got there. But animals, you can't do that. So how are we saying here that the guy grabbed the animal, the guy who was owed money grabbed the animal, and he could have started lying when he took it, he could have bought it? You can't. There's no way to prove anything.
Can I ask a more basic question?
Yeah.
We're kind of assuming here that all these people are like Talmidei Chachamim. They could have said this, they could have said that. Why can't you say Ilfi Tumo? They're not just geniuses. They just said, I took it. Why are you saying, well, he could have said it this way? Because he said it that way means he's being more honest. I don't understand that. He's not a Talmudic scholar. He's just saying, this is what I did. Oh, because he could have said that. He could have, I don't understand that reasoning.
No, because he could have, meaning he obviously is educated enough because they're starting to say, hey, I took it before he died. So clearly he has a sort of education, right?
Okay.
Saying he could have lied even better. I think that's a pshat. Anyway, so Gemara says, well, no, Shani Tura, the Masira Laraya, Ashar is different because that Ashar, it's given over to people to actually watch it. Right? So therefore, you can prove when somebody took possession of things. Other types of animals that don't necessarily have somebody in charge of it, so therefore he would not have any chazaka, but a shor you would, because people just don't have their shors hanging around. They always have somebody watching it. Fine. The Beit Nasiya, so somebody from the Nasi, from the house of the Nasi, Tafus Amsa the Yasmi Visimta, grabbed onto an Amsa, to a maid of Yisayim from a Simta. Same case, just this time it's with a human. They were all sitting together. They grabbed her. That was a smart thing for them to do. So Rav Abba Mishum Devei Nesiya Ninu Machnifis Mach Nefisu Lahu, because they're from the Bein Nasi, so you're kissing up to them. Meaning, why are you paskening like that? That they could have grabbed it, but dying tarfon, right? But they want pasken like Rav Tarfon. V'hadar Rish Lakish the minayon. Rish Lakish reversed the judgment. So you see that we hold that you can't go grabbing things. So that's that story. One more story. Yemar Bar Choshu have a masik bezuzi bahu gavra. So Yemar Bar Choshu had money by a certain person, Shachiv. So that person died, V'shavik Arba, and he left over a boat. Amrli l'shluchei. So he said to his shliach, Zil Tafse Nahale, go grab me the boat, because he owes me money. Azil Tafsa, and he grabbed it. Pogu Rapapa Ravuna Bereidu Rav Yeshua. So Rapapa Ravuna Bereidu Yeshua met him to the shliach. Amrulei, At Toivus Bal Chayv B'makim Shechav Lachenim. You are what we call somebody who's grabbing somebody's debt in a situation where he also owes other people money, and that you're not allowed to do. Meaning, a shliach cannot go grab something from somebody's estate if that estate also owes other people money.
Meaning there's no shiva derabanan if there's multiple.
No, it's not a shiva. No, it's no shiva derabanan. Meaning, it's what you can't send the shliach to grab something if you know that there's many things that the estate owes money to, right? Somebody who grabs something for a Baal Chayv when he owes other people's money, you're not kainet, meaning your shliach didn't do anything. So tafsua inhu, so then Rav Papa and Rav Huna went and grabbed the boat. Why? Because they were also owed money. So instead they told the guy, by the way, you did something wrong, and then they went and grabbed the boat. Rav Papa Mimlach Maluchein, the way he grabbed it, Rav Papa was actually rowing the boat. And Rav Huna B'rei Rav Yeshua, Mamatachla Ba'ashla, and Rav Huna B'rei Yeshua was pulling it with the ropes. You know, every boat has some ropes attached to it. So they were both trying to be kind of it. So Mara Marana Kanina Lakula, I was kind of the whole thing. Mara Marana Kanina Lakula, I was kind of the whole thing. So Pagahu Rav Pinchas Bar Ami, they met Rav Pinchas Bar Ami, Amar Lahu. And he told them, Rav Shmuel Darmat, about both Rav and Shmuel say, who Shetziburin Umanachim Rishasarabim. That Rav Tarfon holds that you're allowed to grab onto somebody's things after he dies. That's only if it's in Rishasarabim, right? And this boat is not in the Rishasarabim. So Gemara says, Amalu. So he said to them, Ananami Mechrifruse Denara. We grabbed it from the middle of the river, which is like a Rishasarabim. So therefore, we would be kainat. So also look.
Why are they asking from Rav Shmuel? We're in Rish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan Basrai. We're talking about Amiran.
No, I think they're just saying that that's what Rav and Shmuel said. I don't
So
think
they were asking.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, he was quoting Rav and Shmuel. No, yeah. Right, that it has to be piled up.
Yeah, but they're asking that it's not from a simta.
Right.
That it was from a simta. Sorry, that it was from a simta. And Rav Shmuel say it can't be from a simta. It has to be from Rishus Harabim. And they answered back, no, we got it from their middle, so that's like Rishus Harabim.
Correct.
But that's only a kasha if we don't pass like Rish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan. Rish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Basroi. Why do we not pass like them? Keneged Rav Shmuel.
Why is it only passing like? I mean, Rabbi and that Machlokes.
Yeah.
It seems like we're not going with that Machlokes at all. We're going with Rabbi Akiva.
No, but that's this Machlokes. Rav Shmuel, the original at the top of Amud base before. Rav Shmuel and Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish said both of them Achila B'Simta. Rish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan and the Meiroi Basroi, we should pass them like them. This kasha shouldn't happen.
I hear. Okay, but I'm not sure. I have to think about that. Either way, so also coming the Rav Amalhu, Kaki, Chivari, Meshalchi, Glimi de Inchi, white geese who take people's clothing off. Right? And that Rashi says that because they were Zakanim, and they took people's clothing off, right? Meaning they're ripping people off. Rav Nachman says it has to be that they grabbed it when it is alive. Meaning he's saying you got to pass him a little bit of Akiva. So therefore, none of these guys work because none of these guys are kind of anything because they took it after he already died. Yeah? Okay. We'll stop over there because that's the end of that story. Gemara continues with more stories, but we'll continue that tomorrow. But Ezra Hashem. All right. Have yourselves a fine night.
Thank you. Shkoyach.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I ask you an odd question?
Yeah, as if you haven't asked me that already.
Right.
Yeah, different. I try to change up the oddities, you know.
But I love how he prefaces this. Like,
Can I ask you an odd question?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, yo, yeah.
Have you ever heard of someone not making
My
a
bad.
shita
Anybody what?
that doesn't make a shalom zacher, b'shita, not for ignorance? Is there any such custom in the Jewish people?
not to make one?
I'm
Don't
asking.
the Sfardim not make one?
Yes.
Sfardim don't make one.
What?
Sfardim don't make one.
Sfardim, yeah.
Okay, so I'll limit it then. Ashkenazi Judaism.
Well, the Taz, someone in the Mefarshim and Shulchan Aruch bring that anti-Shalom Zachas, right? Or is that the Vachnacht? They say it's a goyish thing. I don't remember, one of the two. I think it's Vachnacht, and that's where Shalom Zachar came from. So somebody in Shulchan Aruch has issues with it.
But anyone that you know, like as a group that just doesn't do it?
I don't offhand, no.
No.
The anti-social people.
Yeah. That was the easy answer. Huh?
Right. The lazy anti-social Friday night people. How about that?
There you go.
One second. Aren't we all members of that group?
Why you know the rule? It depends how far away it is. Then you decide if you're part of that group.
Listen, I got a Shalom Zachar this Friday night. I got to go to. It's in Lawrence, who knows where, but okay.
Who had a baby?
Flegman.
Oh.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
You can eat by me and be halfway there.
Yeah, we'll see what my mother's got going. But my kids said eat by parrots, but I think my mother's having my sister. So, but I appreciate the offer.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Why?
Well, no, the difference between where I live, like where Ellie lives, you walk to Cedars, which is a mitzvah. It's an additional 15-20 minutes to get there.
It's really not bad to walk from you. It's not bad to walk to Cedarhurst.
Right. Yaakov, just come to me for Shabbos, then you won't have to go.
Oh, there you go. That's an answer. But one second, but then he has to come to Cleveland.
Yeah, I have bar mitzvah this Shabbos.
Oh,
It's a sham.
all right.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yaakov, davening worked out?
We'll find out.
Yeah. You sound a little under the weather, you okay?
I was sick before you. I'm still. I don't know what's going on.
You sound better tonight than last night, by the way.
Yeah, because I canceled the Balchuvit shit for after this. I figured I wouldn't be able to hack it. So yeah, I can't be Mr.
If you get out of the davening, you
hero.
take a COVID test on Monday night. You can get out of it.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Fine.
Very good.
Thank you.
I get to Nacht.
Okay. Tag is up.
I feel good. Bye-bye.